Molecular Basis of Inheritance deals with the study of nucleic acids. Nucleic acids were first discovered by Frederick Mischer when he was observing the WBC in pus cells. So he extracted a substance, a chemical from the nucleus of the cells, and that chemical was called as nuclein. Later this nuclein substance was studied in detail by another scientist called as Altman, and he found that it is acidic in nature, hence it was called as nucleic acid. So later nucleic acids were found, they were of two types called DNA and RNA based on the type of the sugar, pentose sugar present in it. So these two nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, commonly when we see the chemical composition, each nucleic acid is made up of building blocks, monomers, which are called as nucleotides. So these nucleotides are linked by phosphodiester linkages. Each nucleotide is again made up of three components. A nucleotide is made up of three components: a phosphate or phosphoric acid, a pentose sugar, and a nitrogen base. There are 5 types of nitrogen bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, and uracil. Now these nitrogen bases are again classified into 2 types. Adenine and guanine are called as purine nitrogen bases because they contain purine ring compounds. They are containing purine rings in their structure. Whereas the cytosine, thymine, and uracil, they contain pyrimidine rings, hence they are called as pyrimidine nitrogen bases. So we have 2 purine nitrogen bases, adenine and guanine, 3 pyrimidine bases, cytosine, uracil, and thymine. Now this nucleotide, when it is formed, first it forms a nucleoside. A pentose sugar and a nitrogen base together forms a nucleoside. So when this nucleoside links with a phosphoric acid or a phosphate, it becomes nucleotide. That is how nucleoside is made up of 2 components. Nucleotide is made up of 3 components. That is the difference between nucleotide and nucleoside. Then if we come to the RNA and DNA, so again these nucleosides which are formed, they are having different names. Suppose when the adenine and nitrogen base and the pentose sugar forms a nucleoside, if the pentose sugar is a ribose, it forms adenosine. That means ribose sugar and adenine and nitrogen base combines to form a nucleoside called as adenosine. Similarly, guanine and ribose sugar forms guanosine, that is this nucleoside of RNA. And similarly, cytosine, which is also present in RNA, cytosine and ribose sugar, pentose sugar, forms a cytidine nucleoside, and thus uracil, nitrogen base, combines with the ribose to form uridine. That is how there are 4 nucleosides in RNA. Now when we come to DNA, there they are different. That means because the pentose sugar is a deoxyribose sugar. So if you take in a DNA, adenine plus deoxyribose sugar forms a deoxyadenosine nucleoside. Then when there is guanine plus deoxyribose sugar, it forms deoxyguanosine. And similarly, cytosine, when cytosine combines with the deoxyribose sugar, it forms a deoxycytidine nucleoside. Similarly, thymine, when it combines with the deoxyribose sugar, it forms a deoxythymidine nucleoside. So these are the nucleosides of DNA. So name the nucleosides of RNA, name the nucleosides of DNA, so they are different. So a nucleoside means it is made up of only 2 components. When the nucleoside combines with phosphate or phosphoric acid, it forms nucleotide. That is about nucleosides. So thymine is also called as 5-methyl uracil. So another name for thymine, 5-methyl uracil. Then when we come to the functions of this DNA and RNA, so of course briefly, DNA is the genetic material. RNA is involved in protein synthesis to express a character. So Francis Crick, after the discovery of DNA, so the structure of DNA is proposed by Watson and Crick, and later Crick alone, he proposed a phenomenon called as central dogma. He found that the DNA which contains a certain genetic information transfers to the RNA. So this information, the genetic information, it is transferred from DNA to RNA, and then it is used in the synthesis of proteins. So when the proteins are formed, the concerned character is expressed. So this is what he called it as central dogma. So central dogma is just the transfer of the genetic information from DNA to RNA and then to proteins, which is proposed by Francis Crick. Then if we come to the other part of this related nucleic acids, we come across nucleosomes. So when the chromosome is studied, the chromosomes are clear only during cell division. But when the cell is not under division, either mitosis or meiosis, there the chromosomes are in the form of fine transparent thread-like structures which are called as chromatin. Now this chromatin contains DNA and proteins. So these proteins and DNA are present in equal quantity. So that means each chromatin contains 50% DNA and 50% proteins. This question is, in a chromatin, of course the chromatin becomes chromosomes during cell division. The question arises whether the proteins and this DNA, they are equally distributed, or they are having a particular pattern of distribution. So that was studied by a scientist called as Roger Kornberg. What he called it as nucleosomes. So that means the proteins and DNA, how they are arranged, how they are distributed in the chromatin or chromosomes. So the proteins, especially the histone proteins, they are found in the group of 8 units, which is called as octamer. So these histone octamer, it is a group of 8 units. There are also non-histones present in the chromosome or chromatin. Now these histone octamer is wrapped by DNA from one octamer to another octamer. So the octamer appear like beads in a string. So each histone octamer which is wrapped by DNA. So the octamer is positively charged, the DNA is negatively charged. So this negatively charged DNA is wrapped around the positively charged histone octamer, and this structure is called as nucleosome. So nucleosome is a spherical body consisting of histone octamer, 8 protein units, which is wrapped by DNA. So that the length of the DNA which is wrapped around each octamer is about 200 base pairs. So that is how the amount of DNA which is wrapped around each octamer. And again it is also found by certain studies that the DNA is gently wrapped or coiled around each octamer, not tightly coiled. That is what are called as nucleosomes. Nucleosomes are also called as new bodies. New means NU, not NEW. So these new bodies are also called as nucleosomes. And the histone proteins which are present in the octamer. So these histones are very rich in basic amino acid residues. So those basic amino acid residues are lysine and arginine. So lysine and arginine are basic amino acid. So these residues are very rich in histone proteins in a nucleosome, and that is what are nucleosomes. So nucleosomes are beaded-like structures present in the chromatin, and each bead-like structure is a group of 8 protein units called as octamer. Then again, when we come to this chromatin in the chromosome, so when the chromatin forms the chromosome, here the coiling of the chromatin, condensation of the chromatin to form the chromosome. So we find a differential coiling within the chromosome. So that a differential coiling gives rise to regions which are called as euchromatin and heterochromatin. So euchromatin is the region where the chromatin is loosely coiled, or the package of the chromatin coiling is very loose or not tightly, and hence when specific stains are added, they stain very light. So there is a light stained region, and it is very active in the transcription process. So transcription is the synthesis of mRNA or the RNA by DNA. So that region exhibits active rate of transcription during protein synthesis. That is euchromatin. Whereas heterochromatin, opposite to this, it is densely coiled, tightly coiled, and it stains dark. When certain specific stains are treated to this material, so it heterochromatin stains very dark, and also because of the tight coiling, the transcription process is very inactive in this region. So in case of loosely coiled, transcription is active, it occurs very properly, but here it does not occur, and that is the difference between heterochromatin and euchromatin. Criteria of DNA to act as genetic material. Now, why is the DNA is the only material to act as genetic material? So there are various molecules in the cell other than DNA. There is RNA, there are carbohydrates, there are proteins, and there are many other organic molecules. So even then, the DNA is the only material or the organic molecule or the biomolecule which acts as genetic material. So it is having 4 important criteria to act as a genetic material. So which are not present in RNA. RNA is also nucleic acid, DNA is also nucleic acid, but DNA possesses 4 important criteria. First, it is having the ability to replicate. It undergoes replication by semi-conservative method, but RNA does not have that capacity. That is one important criteria. So replication is a must to act as a genetic material. Then structure, when you come to about the DNA, the chemical structure and its overall the structure, it is maintaining stability in its molecule or like that. But whereas RNA is not having a stability in its structure. So DNA is chemically and structurally stable, where such kind of stability is not maintained in other molecules. Stability may be there, but for a certain period. But DNA is more stable chemically and structurally as compared to RNA and other molecules. And DNA is the only molecule which undergoes replication, but not RNA. And DNA is having a scope for mutation. It can undergo mutation, which we have studied, and whereas mutation cannot occur in RNA or in any other molecule. Though there are nucleotides in RNA, but mutation does not occur there. But in case of DNA, there is mutation, there is a change in the nucleotide sequence. So this mutation, it also helps in the evolution process. So because of the mutation, there is change in the characters, and they are the raw materials for evolution. That is why DNA is very important. Then the 4th important criteria is it is having the ability to express Mendelian characters. So all characters which are usually referred as Mendelian characters, so these characters are expressed by DNA only, and that is proved by the Griffiths experiment. So these are the 4 criteria which makes DNA as the genetic material. Thank you.